Good evening, everybody. Thank you for coming. I think we'll have to start without Councillor Brown for the time being, but I'm sure he'll be with us. I'm proposing to bring forward, hang on, let's do this all in order. Have we got any apologies? No, we haven't got any apologies.
Yes, Madam Chairman. Councillor Corbyn is apologies substituted by Councillor Rideout.
Sorry, Sharon. Yeah, okay. Then we have, are there any public questions or statements?
There are none, Madam Chairman.
Then we have, are there any councillor questions or statements?
There are none.
Good. Then we have minutes of the previous meeting, which I've already had a look at. They seem okay to me. Everybody okay with them? Declarations of interest?
None declared.
Dispensations?
None requested, Madam Chairman.
Chair's announcements. I do have an announcement. I'm seeking the support of this committee, and what I'm going to do is read you out what I wrote to ASA today, and he advised me to bring it to this committee for reasons of timing. So it would be very helpful to me to, it's always the way, isn't it? Good evening. Mac, we're up to chairman's announcements, okay? Right. So this is what I'd like to say. It would be very helpful to me to know that I have the council's official backing in opposing our land at Limekiln Down County Wildlife Site being designated as a SANG, that's a suitable alternative natural green space, for proposed housing development at Site 8 off of the Coombe Road. Site 8, which is the Wyatt Homes development of 300 odd houses, is not yet at the stage of a formal planning application, but it was a late addition to Wiltshire's proposals for sites to be allocated under the local plan review. The local plan review, of course, has hit the buffers, so there could be a speculative application at any point, given the lack of a 5-year housing land supply, which is such a big issue. Wyatt are about to stage a second stakeholder workshop, which I will be attending, hopefully along with other Harnham councillors and Andy Hunt, on March the 23rd. No wider public consultation has yet taken place, and none is yet scheduled, as far as I know. So my view is that given the requirement for a SANG to be a free-range dog walking area accessible to the wider public, and given that Limekiln is going to be sandwiched between 2 new housing estates providing 400 homes, this designation is likely to be detrimental to the wildflowers, including rare orchids, and the butterflies, etc., for which our volunteer helpers currently manage it. Thus far, I've taken it upon myself, working with the Holt Harnham Housing Group, to oppose this scheme on our behalf. But Wiltshire Council, who promoted the land's use as a SANG and who own part of it, have yet to consult us. The neighbourhood plan is clear that Limekiln is an important element of our green infrastructure, an example of increasingly rare chalk downland habitat, which would benefit from biodiversity net gain contributions and possible nature reserve status. I can't now claim to be acting as a leader of the administration, so where do I stand? What I need is official support for continuing with this battle. And if we're going to do that, it needs to be stated clearly pretty soon, because waiting to lodge an application until an objection until a planning application comes in is almost too late. Would it be, so I wanted to know from ASA whether it would be something for the full council, or whether it could be dealt with at officer/administration level. And he's advised me that I should get the consent of the planning committee, and then it would be taken forward in the minutes to the full council in due course. So this meeting is next week. So we obviously don't have another meeting before then at which we can decide it. So the crux of it is, does this council support the use of our county wildlife site with its rare flora and fauna to become a free-range dog walking area for 400 new houses and the wider city? Or do we think that it needs a greater degree of protection? And do we think that we should stand up and say, no, we don't want this to be the SANG, and we haven't been consulted, and then see what happens from there? I can only represent this council's view as opposed to my own if I have this support. Does everybody understand before I go any further? Okay, Andrew.
Yeah, thanks. Obviously, I'm pretty sympathetic. I just wonder, what is the status of the area?
It is a
Because I'm just looking
county.
online, and there's lots of photos or
Yeah.
videos of dogs walking on it
It is a
currently, and
county
therefore-
wildlife site. It is open to the public. People do walk through it. It tends to be local people. The issue really, and that has been at a manageable scale. The site is managed for us by local volunteers with supervision from our officers. The problem becomes that they've just built 86 new houses onto Rowbarrow, and there's going to be 300 odd behind it on the other side off of the Coombe Road. For all of those, that would be the designated, you can let your dog run anywhere you like, dog walking area. And to me, this is madness. There's all sorts of flora and fauna there, which Wiltshire's Biological Records Office have been made aware of, recently been updated. We've had Yolo Williams from the TV Spring Watch, Autumn Watch type programs has gone up there. And he's spoken to some of the volunteers when he was up there and said, I can't understand why this isn't an official nature reserve. Because being a county wildlife site is not the same, it does give it protection, but not the same degree of protection as if it were a reserve. So it's simply a question of whether fellow councillors want to fight this fight or not. And I'm quite prepared to do it, but I need the backing.
Sorry.
I don't know who put their hand up first, sorry.
So it's really just a follow-up question, which was, could we, get some kind of assessment from whichever the appropriate body is?
It's been assessed. That's why it's designated as a county wildlife site. There is paperwork which I can share with you. There is a leaflet listing everything that's there and the reasons why it's valuable for them. It's in the East Harnham ward. Councillor Hocking is aware and quite keen to protect it as well. He'll be coming to this consultation as well. So I can get that for you, Andrew, if that helps. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Sharon?
It was only on the news, I think on Saturday. If it became a dog walking site, then dogs could go anywhere on it at any time of the year.
Yeah.
If it remains as it is at the moment, then there is an appetite for restricting dogs at certain times of the year in nature with regard to ground nesting birds, flora, other fauna, which I think could be in the future at some point could be considered. But if it becomes an official dog walking site now, it would be my understanding that that would not be possible. So I would therefore support you in this.
Thank you. I mean, I have walked my own dog up there at times on a lead. And I know where to walk and where not to, but without directing people to things that you might want to protect, and you might direct the wrong people to those things, it's difficult to understand how else to protect it, really. Councillor, sorry, I've got to call people councillor. Councillor, my training has told me I've got to call you Councillor Charleston.
Thank you, Councillor Riddle. So would we be restricting it for all dogs then? And if this is the case, do you have a proposal for where people could walk their dogs instead?
We wouldn't be restricting it for, if it would still be a county wildlife site, or we could decide to pursue the route of making it into an official reserve. It's only part of what's proposed to be a SANG. There is other land that isn't, it's a wider patch of land than just our bit. It's a very complicated situation because we own the central part of Limekiln Down Wildlife Site. It was gifted to us by a member of the public. And if you divided the land into 3 strips, we own the central strip, and for some weird reason, Wiltshire Council owns the edge bits. So it is complicated, and I don't think Wiltshire Council were aware of this when they first drew up the plans for the SANG. They just promoted the whole site. We weren't consulted, and it has had to be pointed out to them more than once that we own the centre of this site and that we have been managing it for wildlife, and that we've got very dedicated local volunteers who also take advice from the Wildlife Trust. And Wildlife Trust or the Salisbury Wildlife Group, anyway, one of those. But it's a little site that punches above its weight because it's what they call a rare chalk downland habitat, which is disappearing fast. Yes, Councillor Brown.
Thanks. I'm very a supporter of protecting this, and it's of course in Harlem East. So I just wonder, were there any steps taken to designate it as a reserve earlier on? And if we could pull some of that out, it would strengthen our case.
I don't know is the answer. I've been banging on about this for the last 2 or 3 years, but I suddenly realised that I don't have any actual official backing for this. I'm just doing it, which is perhaps not best. That's hence, if we get this, if we have this as the council policy that we do not want anything that lessens protection for our county wildlife site,
Yeah.
then we can take it on from there, and
Yeah.
we can do a bit more digging.
Yeah. Good.
So, members, may I have your support on this? Thank you. Okay, so now that will be minuted. That will go to full council as a recommendation of this committee. And in the meantime, yes, we should have a resolution, you're right. Yeah, we probably should have a resolution. At this stage, no, but we probably should have something. Penny, we probably should have something to take forward to the full council in terms of a vote, should we?
We can have a vote, or you can have a vote rather. The other thing to just bear in mind is that if you want to send it forward to full council for them to vote as a recommendation, then you have got a little while because your next full council isn't until the end of May.
I think we just wanted, Ata's suggestion was that I should just put it to this committee, and that if I had this committee's support, that would do for me to be going on with. And then it would just go through as on our minutes.
Yeah, I think that's correct, because at the end of the day, when it comes through as a formal planning application, whether that's front door or back door, then you will get your formal opportunity to support or object or support with caveats or whatever. At present, you are quite rightly just trying to jump part of the gun before
Yes,
that.
exactly. What I've been trying to do all along is put down a marker so that we have to be consulted before we're presented with a fully worked up planning application in which we've been ignored again as usual. Okay. All right, so the proposal is that this planning, what should we say, this planning committee does not support the inclusion of Limekiln Down Chalk County Wildlife Site as in a SANG for proposed housing development. Keep it simple. Well, let's just take my view is we should take it as a keep it really succinct. If people want to come and negotiate with us, which I feel sure they might, they will, then that's the time to do it. But without some much more expert advice, I can't tell you what degree of protection could be afforded once it was given that designation, because the government's definition of a SANG is that it must be, it must have a circular path all around it, suitable for dogs to run around off the lead, and they must be able to. There's a distance involved. I can't remember what it is. It's 2.5 kilometres or something. Now, clearly, if you have rare things growing out of that ground, that's not a good bet.
One more question.
Councillor Brown.
Councillor Riddle. I think there is this meeting that they've called and invited us next week, isn't
Yes.
it? And I wonder whether our objection will be aired to them at the meeting or before. I mean, are we going to be discussing this and getting our case ready?
The deal is, if I have official backing, which is you lot, then I can say it at the meeting.
Fine, good. Yeah.
Which just makes us slightly, it gives us a little bit more of a right to be listened to, I think. That's what we're trying to achieve, and to then be, from there on, be consulted before any plan is worked up any further. At which point, obviously, we'll have our officers' input. Mark Reed came to the previous stakeholder consultation with me. But obviously he was taking a listening role there, really. And Holt Harnham House Building Group, which is concerned with that particular site, not with house building in general, took the lead in being the opposing voice to that scheme and raising issues, related to it. But the developers have since changed the consultancy firm that they're using. So whether we're doing the whole thing all over again or whether, I don't quite know. We'll find out. Anybody got any more questions? Thank you very much for your support. I think it's really important. We've got some good stuff on that land, and it's only small, and it's a threatened habitat, and it's part of the green hilltop wildlife network that we've tried to establish on the south side of Salisbury. So thank you. Right, now can we move on and just do this item 10, Highways Improvement Request Form. Councillor Wells, did you want to come and say anything?
Yes, I came along this evening because I put this form in at the request of a resident who happens to be a retired police officer. He was also involved in a rather unpleasant collision. I don't think there was any fatalities, but it was a significantly horrible incident whereby he was heading out on the outbound road, Castle Road, and was turning right into St Paul's Dean across the traffic which was coming into the city. And there was stationary traffic in the centre of the road, and there's a small section of bus lane the other side of it, and he turned across. There's a gap in the traffic to allow him to turn across into Paul's Dean Road, and he was sideswiped by a taxi going excessively fast because the bus lane there was vacant. The proposal is, I don't know if you're probably all familiar with it, coming in from Old Sarum, you've got a downhill stretch and there is a bus lane, and then the bus lane stops at the corner. And then just around the corner, there's a small section of bus lane, which is about 20 yards long, and then there's a break for St Paul's Dean Road, and then the bus lane starts again where a bus stop is located. The implication of that is that you could potentially have stationary traffic in the same position that it was when this incident occurred. And for the sake of 20 yards of bus lane, it seems to be a possibility that that risk could be reduced if that section of bus lane were taken out. So you could still have the bus lane coming down from Old Sarum and still have the bus lane where the bus stop is. But on that corner, it's a pity we haven't got any photographic images to support it, but it's a measure which might make it safer for the residents who have no choice but to turn across that traffic to get into St Paul's Dean. The reason I brought it here is because I think it should be something that LHVIG needs to inquire. I mean, I'm not quite sure whether the regulations will allow it to happen, but I would certainly like it to be considered at that level because I think it's worth reducing it. I don't think it'll make a huge difference if the bus lane, that little section, is removed, because it's already partly removed on the bend anyway, but it might reduce that risk of vehicles which fairly frequently turn right across that traffic, and at peak times there can be quite a lot of stationary traffic there. I'll answer any questions if you want, and
I think members, have you got an image there that you're looking at of it? If anybody wants to see it. Yeah, Councillor Suddards.
I mean, I'm generally supportive. The only thing I can think of is if you remove the bit of bus lane early coming down the hill, you've got people trying to merge from 2 lanes into 1 lane at the junction, or unless you create it just 1 lane further up the hill. That's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah.
You know, if you're trying to get 2 into 1, you're trying to get 2 into 1 right at that junction.
it's the fact that there's already a break in the bus lane there. The bus lane
But people are
stops.
only going to go into the left-hand lane if they're going to turn left. They're not going to go into the left-hand
Possibly,
lane
yeah.
if they're suddenly going to have to go onto the right-hand lane to get around the next bit of bus lane.
I mean, arguably, if you are turning left into St Paul's Dean, you have to go into the bus lane anyway, which you're not supposed to
No,
turn
you
left.
don't. There's quite a big gap. There's quite a big, because the bus lane stops well before the turn into St Paul's Dean.
Councillor Charleston.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very supportive of sending it up to LHVIG and for them to investigate. I guess my one concern is a cyclist coming down that road. I use the bus lane because it's the safest place to be. And so if you start removing that, that would concern me as a cyclist. But I'm happy for it to be investigated, definitely.
You think if LHVIG look at it, they'll know, won't they?
I don't hope so, yeah. But I don't use it as a bus lane, but I do use it as a cycle lane.
Anyone else got any questions for John? Are members happy for this to go? Can I have a show of hands, please? Right. Thank you, Councillor Wells. Right, that's that one done. Right, so we'll go back onto the agenda now then. Yes, here it is. Sorry, I'm a bit shivery. It's cold in here, isn't it? Right, so not too many applications tonight, makes a pleasant change. And the first one is number 10 High Street. And that is a rear first floor infill extension and replacement of existing extension flat roof with new pitched roof. Anybody have any comments on this one? Councillor Suddards.
It's only just I had a brief look, which is that it already had planning permission and there was just effectively a slight tweak about the roof.
Slightly changed.
And Mr. Minting has said he's entirely happy with it. Doesn't look controversial in my view.
Yes, I agree. If the conservation officer is happy with it, that seems to be fair enough. Can I have a show of hands? All support? Thank you very much. As we support that one then. Okay, the next one is the 22 to 30 High Street amended plans for the new look site. I've had to wade through this. It's not very helpfully set out on the planning portal because it's quite hard to work out what the changes are initially, but they're reducing from 53 to 49 properties, which brings it below the threshold of 50, where once you go over that, you have to help provide a sang. That we're all going to become very familiar with sangs, aren't we? And so they would still be expected to provide, and have agreed, I believe, to provide improvements under another scheme to the river park, which looks as if it will be in the form of benches and signs and maybe a couple of lights or something along that stretch of the river at the back of that building. I asked Mark Reed today, and he said we haven't yet been consulted about quite what form they would take, but obviously would very much want to be consulted. I think that's the amendment that I could see, and there was a lot of technical jargon about the New Forest area that and why you have sangs and all that kind of thing. I couldn't see any other significant changes. Does anybody else have anything they want to say?
I saw comments from the highways because there was issues regarding access, which they've sorted out, but they've put conditions in that, and also it looks like when you read the document from the highways, they're trying to get out of the Section 106 money. They don't agree with paying £100,000. So the highways will approve it, but they'll only approve it if they'll accept paying the Section 106 money along with a few other.
So I must admit, I missed that bit. I was wading through all these sang designations and I was going mad.
If you look on the comments, and it's on the second page of comments.
Right.
It's in there. And also, I think it's the public enforcement regarding noise from.
We have objected previously on the grounds. One of the grounds we used was that we were worried about the noise and disturbance.
Yeah, they've recommended fitting
the
certain
pub.
acoustic paneling. Again, they'd only prove it if they fit
Yeah.
acoustic fencing and some plenum windows or something that for the
Yes, I didn't know what those windows were. I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. Basically, it's a baffle. Really, it lets the ventilation, but it blocks the noise.
Yeah.
And so there is
now
a few recommendations in there, but I was quite concerned that the developers are already trying to avoid Section 106 money, especially £100,000.
And that was that Section 106 was to do that element of the funding was to do with that
It's to do with the Salisbury transportation plan. They don't think because it's in the middle of town, they don't think they need to pay.
Okay. Yeah. Right. Okay. Anybody else? Councillor Brown.
I had a worry when I was looking at it all again today and thinking about how we're going to, because it's 49 flats, 48 flats and 5 houses, and there's 9 parking places. But even for those 9 cars, I worry how they get the only access into the courtyard where presumably the cars will be, and all the building lorries, by the way, for years on end.
It's
Seems to be a little narrow gap that's now just a footpath, and they're going to have to widen it.
Yeah, across the pavement.
On the pedestrian bit. So I worry about safety and access.
I do too, but Wiltshire seems to find that acceptable.
It's baffling.
Yeah, they've approved that, but
yeah, I take your point. I mean, we are able to make that comment if the committee agrees. And Councillor Charleston.
Thank you. I remember when this came last time, I think this was one of my big concerns then, and it's not just about the 9 car parking spaces, it's all the delivery vans, it's your Deliveroos, it's your whoever else you use. You look at it just on my road and the number of vans there are every day. If you're talking about 50 homes, that's, I would argue, at least 50 vans a day on the way to it.
Got to be, by the time you've got your Amazon and all that stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I maintain that tiny little entranceway is not safe. People view it as pedestrian now. I think I can't see any huge changes that makes me feel more comfortable that it's going to be a safe entry and exit for vehicles.
Yeah. Well, I've made a note of the things that we commented on last time around, and I've just found it. And it was the lack of affordable housing, cyclist and pedestrian safety, bats and birds and the recommendations by Swifts. Sorry, I've got the wrong glasses today. But better some than none, hey? The vitality of the pub and the effect that noise complaints might have on that, and also the effect that the noise might have on the amenity of the residents. Let's see. I think that's about it. No, I think that's about it. Does anybody else have any comments? Councillor Saddard.
I mean, I think all of these things are valid to improve it. I think, for me, overall, this development, is kind of a good thing for the city. It's a sort of slightly dreadful area that doesn't need investment. It's still some retail space is being protected. We have more than enough extra retail space that's standing empty. So it's not a case of we're pushing out retail from the city. Overall, I think, Councillor Charleston's point on the vehicles and the number of vehicles that are inevitably going to come, even though this plot is meant to be a sort of plot for people who are going to cycle places rather than drive places. Inevitably there will be visits and vans coming. My personal opinion is, I'd like to support this, but subject to those points being adequately addressed by the developer, including the sill provisions. As the sill said, it's kind of £2,000 per property when these things are going to be going for upwards of $250,000 to $500,000. Then it's pretty small beer in terms of sill provision. But I say I would be tempted to support this, subject to those issues being addressed.
Yeah, I've just found a note here to say that Public Protection agreed to the window design specified. That they had got concerns about the noise, but they've accepted the window design specified. So I guess we can't really argue with that one. Can anybody tell me? I think that the pedestrian walkway, which they're promoting as being a great benefit of this scheme, which will connect pedestrians from the high street to the riverbank, is that also going to be the bit where the vehicles go in?
I think it is, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I think. So that's going to be another conflict of. I mean, obviously nothing's perfect, and we can't pick holes in everything. But do we have Can we get this up on the screen? Penny, would you be able to?
Yeah.
Sorry, first floor plans.
There's another one than that one as well.
I think there is just the one main entrance, but then it bifurcates.
Yeah.
Goes down to the
Goes
river,
in-
which is the walkway.
Yeah, and then goes
there's kind
left
of a
around a
path
funny
that,
circuit. Yeah.
That doubles as a vehicle access, which goes off to the left.
It does strike me as a difficult arrangement, but on the other hand, if anything is going to be done with that site, I can't see how you can avoid the need for that. Can you? You've got to get in there somehow. Because there isn't a possibility of them providing any more on that site, and but the reason they're doing it is because they think that the houses, people who want to buy a 5-bedroom house will need parking spaces. It's going to be for delivery vehicles to park, and it's going to be for the people that live in the house, not the people that live in the flats.
Does that help at all?
Folks,
If
no, what we want is
If you go on the application,
we want. What's the number of the document, Victor?
if
The
you
name
click
of
on
the
the link,
document,
you
Victoria.
click on the
that we
link, it'll
need.
take you on the agenda, it'll take you straight there.
No, go down to that, yeah,
That's
click
it.
on
That'll
that,
take you straight there.
and then go on to where it says documents, the second one in, where it says application detail, click on documents. Yes, and then scroll down. Right, somebody with glasses,
Keep
tell
going
me
down,
which
keep
number
going
it is.
down. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. No, not yet.
It might, I tell you what, you're going to go up to the top again. Go up to the top again, because if you've got you've got the superseded ones. Right, go on to document, no, stop, Penny. Right, go right a bit, right a bit, right a bit. This is like, what's that game show? Document date. Can you see document date underneath download selected? Can you see the words document date on the right there? If you click on that, it will bring it up into the most current date order. Do it again. Yeah, now it's it. Well, you'll see, then you'll see it says revised plans documents, and that's the latest
Scroll down.
version.
Yeah, scroll down.
Scroll down to,
9th of July. Keep going.
well, 9th of July, that's it, that one. It's all right.
Anybody thinks
There we go.
planning meeting?
It's all right. This is the website, the planning web portal is not user friendly. Yeah. Will it go any bigger? Won't, will it? No. No. No, it goes smaller again.
Yeah, that's it. No,
Sorry?
walk from higher up. That's like,
Okay, one at a time, because we can't hear very clearly otherwise. What, Councillor Suddard?
So you've got the entrance on the right there,
Yeah.
and then the path down to the river, it goes towards the bridge, but then there's sort of funny shapes,
Yeah.
and you can see the parking spaces all down the bottom left.
Those sort of lozenges.
The dark grey
the grey ones.
Yeah.
ones, those are the parking spaces. So the vehicle path goes down through those hexagons.
So,
But
yeah.
which is the pedestrian path? That there,
Possibly the
that's,
top bit. I
Across
suppose.
the top towards the bridge, yeah.
right, okay. I've got you.
But you will all share the entrance, pedestrians and
And
vehicles.
you'll have all the people that are unusually using that bit of pavement to go shopping and it's on a bend with traffic lights.
I mean, the highways have said something, I can't remember what the document says, that they're doing something to improve that access, but I can't see, it's still going to be almost a blind bend as you come out, a blind entrance or exit, isn't it, as you come out of there. So it all depends on how quick the car's going to drive out or drive in, depending on the people
Yeah.
crossing.
Or just park up on the corner,
Yeah,
and that's what you'll find as well.
Yes,
Just park up on
yes.
the corner.
What worries
Councillor
me
Brown.
most is people walking along that pedestrian bit of the high street there. And if you're walking towards town, you walk along and suddenly, unbeknown to you, won't be paying attention unless you put massive signs that you're actually across a very busy driveway. And that's where people are going to get run over. Probably me.
It's funny, I went to I attended a WALPA meeting online the other day, and one of the commonest comments from all the other parish councils in Cross Wiltshire was to the effect that the highways officers in dealing with planning applications generally across the county seem to adopt the line of least resistance to proposals. It was a common cause of criticism. And I guess they probably got to the point where they've got to do the least worst things. Councillor Charleston.
I think I would support Councillor Suddard that, we want more housing, and this is great that
Yeah.
we're not building on greenfields, etc.
Yeah, I agree
Absolutely
with
in favour of
that.
more housing, but I think our previous comments still stand here. I don't feel that it's been changed enough to allay our fears about safety in particular. So
Shall we is the committee happy for me to find the wording of our previous objections, reiterate them, and add What did we want to add? Yeah, section 106. That it's not diluted is what you mean, yeah? Anything else?
So are we supporting with those reservations and then letting the
Yes.
experts be the
Yeah,
arbiters of
I
judgment?
think. Well, no, I think that I think we should simply perhaps reiterate our previous comments and add in any new ones that we want to. I mean, I think we do generally support the idea of having brownfield housing. I think, no, it's the suitability of this particular design, I think, is the issue, isn't it? Councillor Sharon, did you want to say anything?
What was the reason for no affordable housing whatsoever? Have we had that?
Viability. I don't know if you wouldn't have probably been on the committee, at the committee meeting where the developers did come. Was it under the previous administration and give a presentation? And I think it was just, they were arguing viability. And that was with 53 properties as opposed to 49. As I say, the reason it's gone down to 49 is to keep it under 50 so they don't have to fork out for a sang. Now, what did I read? Yeah, but I think it's going down. I've got a feeling the number's shrunk under 50. Okay. Carry on, talk amongst yourselves. I'm just going to look something up. No, I can't do it in the middle of the meeting because there's so much on that site. Can you get back to the documents, Penny? And go back up to the top. Right. Sorry? No. Advised. Sorry, Jen, I got to stand up, I can't see. I think it's on the technical note. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to move because I just can't see on that screen.
Okay. No, what? No. Sorry, councillors. So from the way I read this, councillors, is that the proposals under the first submission were for 48 flats and 5 houses.
Yes.
It then goes down, the new proposals are detailed below. 2 buildings, 4 stories high, 44 flats and 5 houses.
Sorry, I know it's very difficult for me to see that. Well, I think this is superseded under that original application number. So it's still quoting the original application as it was. And this is an amendment to it, but they don't have to say that if they're quoting the original application, and this is a superseded document. Do you see what I mean? That is why I was saying I spent so much time fussing around over this that I had missed a bit about the other bit that you brought up. Yeah. Well, it's a most unhelpful system, isn't it? How are people supposed to come to an informed opinion?
Councillor Riddle, I
Yes.
still have a question because it's about the social housing. Because it is, I don't understand, and we mentioned this last time, but that, you know, anything larger than 10 houses or half a hectare requires social housing, and I can't see anything.
No, that's absolutely
And
right.
that's just, that's national law. That's not, you know.
I
what's
agree
going
with
on
you.
here.
I agree with you.
I don't understand how it got this far.
Affordable housing is not as cheap as social housing, is it? So, but they haven't got, have they got affordable in this? I haven't seen it. No, this is all market rate, isn't it? Well, sorry, it took me so long to remember where I'd seen that, and I suddenly remembered it was in something called technical note, which is most unhelpful. How are we supposed to know what the material change was that we were trying to comment on? I really don't know. So, what do we think, folks? Has anybody got any proposals?
I still feel we should raise something the same as Councillor Brown around the affordable housing.
Right, so that's
think-
one point we would like to raise, affordable housing. We'll put this into a proper votable thing in a minute, but we're just making the notes now so that we can. Right, and then do people still wanting to raise the question of access for vehicles?
Yes.
And
safety.
pedestrian and vehicle
Cyclist
safety.
yeah.
That's number 2. Anything else?
If you go to the documents, come off that and go to the comments, sorry, you'll be able to
Yes.
read what the highways document says, because there's definitely something around the access that you might want to.
Right.
So just scroll up,
Is there
Penny.
anything else you want to see on this bit first? Because we've got to drag
don't
back to
think
it
so.
otherwise.
No.
No, okay.
Okay.
So
if
we
you
want to, now Penny, we want to go up to the top.
keep going,
And then where it says comments next to documents, click on that, please. And then
scroll down.
put it in feed view so we can see.
That's right.
Well,
Just keep
well,
scrolling down. I
Keep
know where
going
it
down.
is.
See, it says change to feed view.
Oh, no. If you just scroll down,
Yeah. Is that
keep
the one?
going. No, it wasn't in that one. So if you go back, come out of feed view,
All right,
because
go
I know
back-
exactly
go
where
back.
it is. It'd just be
Click on
easier.
that again, yeah.
Right, scroll down the page, go to
I'm
number
having so
2,
much trouble seeing this.
click on the Highways Department comment. Then you need to open that where it's got file at the top
Right, there on, is it files, yeah.
and then
And then
view
you have to
that.
come right along to the right and open that. Yeah,
So they're saying they've got no objection, subject to conditions and obligations. So if you read down that,
perhaps you care to read them so that I can see them rather than hopping up and down.
So
No,
the
it's
primary access matters, concern was raised with the potential for conflict between vehicles exiting the site and pedestrians on High Street. Whilst previous access design did provide a 2 by 2 metre pedestrian intervisibility splay, whatever that is, given the extremely high footfall in the area, additional visibility was requested, as well as altering the priority over access apron to ensure that pedestrians maintain priority over the area, with vehicles expected to give way.
So what are they saying? They still don't like it?
No, they think that's all right.
think
The
that's
latest design has thus provided a bollard on the corner of the access to deflect pedestrians away from the wall and improve intervisibility.
So that a bollard will persuade,
People to go around
Pedestrian.
it, they'll move out. Whilst concern was raised about reducing the overall usable width of the footway for pedestrians, the access apron alterations will ensure no usable width is lost for passing pedestrians. Therefore, I am now satisfied adequate vehicle to pedestrian visibility is
So where
available.
will the bollard go? Will it have to be one that they can put down every time they want to take a car in and
I
out?
guess it's either side of the entrance.
It's outside the entrance,
So you move away from the wall to come away from it.
So it'll be in the
It'll
pavement?
be in the pavement. So that could,
Have to be a big bollard to move people away from that entrance, wouldn't
yeah,
it?
you're going to push it. You're going to push your way out.
Sorry, sir. What was that?
Sorry, I'm saying if you're walking with a double buggy or if somebody is in a mobility scooter, that's going to take up a chunk of the pavement. We're already, and it will be
Mm. Narrow
reduced by the
pavement there.
bollard. It's pedestrian access going both ways is going to be restricted by that, I feel.
Yeah.
I know, I've read what they've said.
Yeah.
But it's saying the access over the alterations.
Well, wait, do we have, is there a, no, I don't suppose there is a diagram showing the altered access arrangements,
There
is
is
there?
one somewhere, but yeah, I'm not going to try and find it. I mean, on the next page of that is the section 106 obligations.
All right, yeah,
So this says a previous request has been made for financial contribution of £100,000 toward measures within the Salisbury transport strategy, as is usual for major developments in the Salisbury area. The latest submission states that the applicant does not accept this request and believe it unreasonable, as the development will provide a pedestrian route between the High Street and the River Avon, which ultimately supports the proposal.
is
So
this
there's
where
a-
they're going to bring it down to, they want to bring it down to £27,000? Because I've written a note here to say £27,000, £878 proposed in section 106 to
Don't
Wiltshire.
think,
Or is that for something else?
I think that's for something else. You scroll- I don't- Yeah. Oh, I've lost it now. By the way that they're trying to get rid of it. So I think we should definitely strongly,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, we want.
I think we want more detail.
Okay, chaps, I do appreciate that my chairing of this meeting is hindered by the fact that I haven't got my proper glasses, that my printer was not working, so all my notes are scribbled. I have no notes other than what I've got in this notebook. But it's not my role to tell you just what I think anyway, so if anybody wants to come up with a set of proposals, please feel free. We've got affordable, and we want affordable housing. We are not happy with the pedestrian and vehicle safety proposals. We disagree with reducing the amount of section 106. Anything else?
I think that's good. Yeah, that's the main point.
Sorry?
What about the conservation stuff from before, bat boxes and swift boxes and everything else?
Yes. There is an ecology report. I don't know. Do you want to see that? Members want to see the ecology thing in the latest version, if it's on there? I don't know. I saw a drawing that had about 4 bat boxes on it and a couple of bird swift bricks. It's a prime site for a swift colony, really.
Well, I think
and they
Swift
should-
was saying they wanted on each of the buildings.
Yes.
At least one
Yeah.
Swift box per
Yes.
building.
Well, because swifts are colony creatures, aren't they? They
Yeah.
live in colonies, that's what they do. So I think we need to underline the importance of whether, if we don't have to have all the details here, we can just say we want to underline the importance of creating a swift colony rather than isolated boxes. Is that what we want?
Yeah.
Because this is a perfect site. Rather than isolated bricks or boxes. Okay, I'll go through this with you, Penny, afterwards. Anything else? What were the other reasons that we objected last time?
I've got it here. So our original objection from this May 25. So SCC comment regarding concerns for cyclists and pedestrian safety. Committee wholeheartedly endorses recommendations by, well, the Swift people to allow colonies of swifts and bats, also in line with the neighbourhood plan policy. Development should meet the affordable home targets. Concerns were raised about protecting the neighbouring pubs' viability, which I think they've, did you say they've done?
I've done
Yeah,
some
done that bit.
things, yeah.
SCC would like to see sound issues mitigated against to protect the current late night opening of current pub business to ensure economic viability. So that one's ticked off, but the rest all still stands.
Okay,
Excuse me, as May 25
Yeah,
plus.
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Are you happy for me to sign off that wording with Penny afterwards? Okay, can I have a proposer or Councillor Saddard, seconder? Councillor Brown, any, all agreed?
Yep.
Yeah, thank you very much. Right. Next one, 33 to 35 New Canal, internal shop fit out of an existing retail unit and external signage. Any comment? That's a listed building. Any comments there? Councillor Bennett?
Look, doesn't seem to be any problem. I think the Salisbury Civic didn't agree with it, and they're basically just going to blank off the windows. It's going to, that side of the shop is going to be the store, while the other side is going to be the shop front itself. So I can see a problem with it.
Anyone else? Should we say no comment? Are we happy with no comment? Yeah, no comment and shopfront policy. Quite, thank you. Yeah, okay.
That's where rituals is going, isn't it?
Yeah,
NC and shopfront policy. Okay, moving swiftly on. 82 Westwood Road, change of use of existing garage to motor vehicle repair garage. This, I believe, Councillor Corbyn had some grave misgivings about. Councillor Bolwell.
I can tell you also from the Residents Association, we've contacted and said that we're not happy. It's too close to the school entrance. So as you're going in, that's where this will be. You've got kids going up in that direction and coming along the other direction. So, yeah, I'll agree with Councillor Corbyn's misgivings on it.
I found it quite hard to, I was looking on Street View and I found it quite hard to see where the vehicles would be going in and out.
Yeah, exactly, because as they go, it's a hidden entrance.
Yeah.
So unless you live on the estate or travel in and out of the school all the time, you won't know that that's there. So something comes out of there, they're on you before you've realised it.
Okay, so are you proposing that we object?
Yes.
Anybody else?
Councillor Corbyn and I were liaising over this, and I went to have a look at it on Sunday when I went to watch a netball match up there. It is really, really close. You go in and it's immediately on your right after the school entrance, which is tight anyway. And when it's busy at weekends, which the school is used for lots and lots of things, Grace Church, there was football tournament, netball tournaments, all sorts of things going on. Cars were parked up and down there, and people were everywhere. There's no other commercial business run from that site at all, so there's no precedence has been set. It did not feel like a place where a business could be running from. And I've got concerns around the school site would then be open outside of when there will be people there to look after the school site.
So the security of the school
Yeah.
site. So pedestrian safety for school children and
Yeah.
and security for the school site.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so we've got a proposer, we've got a seconder, all in favour? All in favour of objecting strongly to that one? Good, right. So let's just make a note here. Project strongly. Pedestrian safety and school security. Right. Number 15 Wordsworth Road, single-storey side extension and loft conversion with associated internal alterations and replacement of garage roof. Anybody? Anybody?
Everybody's doing it, basically. They're all the same. All the neighbours are doing it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, no comment or support, which,
No comment.
no
No
comment.
comment.
Okay, thank you. 304C Devizes Road. This is the change of use from a private dwelling to a children's residential home. Councillor Bolwell, did you say you had a comment on that?
I took a look at it. There's been no consultation with neighbours at all. And turning it into a children's home, the extra traffic and everything else that goes along with that. And now it's a case of if it's going to be a children's home, the neighbours have missed the boat, as in jumping in and having their views. So,
Well, presumably they could come in at this stage of the process
could
as
come
we
in.
are.
yeah, Ricky and I, we're not in support of it.
Ricky's not either.
No.
Okay. Anybody else? Councillor Rideout.
I think this is the same company who tried to buy another property in Stratford Ward, and then we discovered there was a covenant on it, which meant they couldn't use it for their intended purpose. Exactly the same thing. There'd been no consultation. There'd been, they are a company who runs care homes for the elderly, not children's homes.
Yeah.
So it's not one of the established children's homes that are currently in Salisbury, as in Five Rivers. So I think there is some looking into around how that would run as well.
I think it's just, was it just for 3 children, wasn't it? And associated carers.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem an excessive number. These are obviously children with, I think, with autism.
Yeah, and with the one we had before, it was what parking would there be available for a minibus, for the staff vehicles?
I don't know. It just said in the application that there was enough parking, didn't it? It didn't say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do we not agree with that, folks?
No.
Well, it's looking at when they say, so for example, children's home that I was working in, one of the satellite units, there were 2 members, and there was only 1 child. You had to have 2 members of staff.
Yeah.
In another children's home that I worked in, there were 5 children, and we had to have 5 members of staff.
Yeah.
So it's how many, even though they're saying 3 children,
Yeah.
it's the staff ratios. What are they looking at with that? How many vehicles? What about the home vehicle? It's there's more to it.
Yes. Okay, understood. Councillor Saddles.
Having had a quick look at the documents, and I don't profess to have read them all by any means, they're talking about, I think, 1-to-1, so kind of 3 staff for 3 children. And looking at the picture in front here, it looks as though there is space for 3. Yeah, but they've got they'd take the wall down, wouldn't they, to allow 3 directly on, as opposed to.
So you're saying that it's a
Well,
potential for
there's
3
2, but there's a
vehicles to
little
park
wall
directly in
that-
front?
So they have to sort of park like that.
Yes.
Because there's a little wall. Obviously where the photo's been taken, there's tiny, sort of 2-foot high wall,
Yeah.
which means that at the moment their cars are parked like that to get out, but you could have 3 in a row.
You could have 3 with no wall,
Yeah.
but you couldn't have more than 3.
How long is there to be able to do that?
There is, yeah.
Probably.
Councillor Bolwell, did you want to say something else?
So even if it was 3 cars on the drive, it would still be tight movement to do so. And that's, and like Councillor Rideout said, this isn't the first one we've come across like this, is it? We had one, Christie Miller Road, not so long ago, if
We
you
did.
remember.
Well, there's clearly a problem finding suitable accommodation for these children. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, I'd like a proposal, please. Sorry, did you want to say something, Councillor Brown? Sorry, I didn't see you.
No, I mean, it's just funny. I looked at this house to rent about 6 months ago, and then they said, listen, if you want to just buy it, we've been trying to sell it. So they're obviously desperate, which is why, this is going on, is desperate for any customer to come and buy it.
That was the same as when they were in our area.
Yeah. So that sort of adds a little bit of context about desperation and,
Well, thank you very much.
yeah.
Councillor Suddles.
For me, it feels as though we don't have strong grounds for objection. It feels to me like there's a need for children's services. There is enough space for the carers. It may not be ideal, but it feels as though it's fulfilling a need that the city needs.
Okay, well, slightly divided opinion there. Councillor Charleston. So you're proposing no comment. How do you feel about that, Councillor Bowell? Okay, all in favour of no comment? Thank you. Right, number 54 Lower Road, erection of a garage carport. Anybody? No comment? No comment, okay. Number 12 Minster Street, retrospective for insertion of extractor grill. No comment?
No comment.
43 Albany Road. Rear kitchen extension with terrace and side veranda. Anybody got anything to say on that one? No comment? Dunn's House, external access route to... I think this is just a technical thing to do with access for, because of the conversion, because it's being converted. It's so that people can get up and down from the first floor. I thought it's almost...
So I'm not quite sure what came back in, because I looked at the plans, and the plans look exactly the same. They put like a gateway, a bridge, obviously for the fire exit. The plans look exactly the same, so I'm not unsure why it's come back. But
You're happy with no comment? Thank you. Wyndham Park Conservative Club, change of use to private dwelling, park demolition of existing building, replacement roof. Councillor Bevan.
I had a little look at this, and that we looked at it last time. I think we were a bit concerned about the height of the roof, but
We
they
were.
have actually dropped it.
Yeah.
So it does look quite a good.
It's an improvement.
Yeah, definitely an improvement. Yeah, and it's using the building that's just sat there, isn't it?
So members, should we support this one? So this is a support, okay. Right, Harnham East, Albany House, formalise the building's use as 2 separate dwellings. I think that's quite a technicality, really. Has anybody got any comments to make on that? Okay, no comment on that one then. Oh, Councillor Brown, did you want something to say?
Only that I think it's highway officer in the comments says, yes, approve, provided they put in these 6 bike park things, and I'd like to support that.
All right, okay, so we want to see bike park.
And he's written that he or she already.
Support highways comments.
Yep.
Support highways officer comments.
Yep.
Okay, all right with that, everybody? Right. And then we've got some tree works, all helpfully gathered together on one page for us. Does anybody have any comments on any of those? Which one is the takedown?
Spire view.
Oh, sorry, is it over the page? Yeah, yeah.
Looks in poor health.
I did, that one had a photograph with it, didn't it? And it didn't look like a particularly inspirational tree, I have to say.
Oh.
It looked a bit struggling to me. Okay, so we're just going to go with no comment for all of those?
Yeah.
No comment all, okay. On those, right, good-o. Late business. 48 Empire Road, demolition of existing storage building with new one-bedroom dwelling to land at the rear. Councillor Suddards.
I had a look at that. It's a sort of an end house.
Yeah,
And then at the end of the garden, they've got which is access from, if you like, the other road. It's got a sort of a storage building. And they're taking a little bit of the garden, but they're creating a sort of small house, effectively. So it adds another house to Salisbury's housing stock. It looks quite nice. And I can't imagine people would reject having a nicer house, so rather grubby storage building instead.
yeah.
And it's got parking and everything.
It appears to be for a family member as well. The only point of reservation is, I remember something that Councillor Tom Corbyn always wanted us to look out for was the possibilities of Airbnb. So support, so I don't know what we can do about that. I think, should we just going to say support or no comment or what? Councillor Bulwell.
This is actually in mine and Ricky's ward, and I know the person, so I can assure you it's not going to be an Airbnb.
Great. Okay, shall we support this one then? Thank you. Excuse me. Right. Harnham Recreation Ground. There is a tree proposed to be felled in the bottom of that list. I have had a look at it. It is leaning at an angle like that. It will go eventually of its own accord. And it is actually seriously blocking the view from the benches that people use there. So sadly, I would have to agree with all that. Councillor Suddards, did you have anything to say about that? Because that's in our ward. Okay. Is there support? Yeah, okay. 68 Winchester Street, a bay tree. That's no comment, yeah? Bay tree, contorted willow. Right, okay. So the next thing is a license application for Godolphin School. Anybody got anything to say about this? Seems to be for alcohol, mainly for events. Sorry, members, are you talking about this application? Because I can't hear if you are.
No comment from me. I think it's fine.
We all happy with this one? Okay. All in favour? Thank you. And the next one, license application for Columbian Events. This is for all sorts of goings on the market, on the Guildhall Square and Market Square, for 2 periods of 6 weeks, I think it was. Midsummer and presumably around Christmas. This is us, isn't it? Are we all?
We should probably.
Okie dokie, we'll all go for that one then. Wait for the howls of outrage about toilets, shall we? Sorry, right. And then what have we got? What's this premises license this is premises license for Cluedo Bar, isn't it? It appears to want to reduce the hours. Sorry. Oh, is that what it is? Can you put your thingy on? So, Councillor Rideout, can you put your microphone on so I can hear you?
Sorry, they want to extend it until 4 o'clock.
4:30.
4:30 a.m. in the morning. Well, which is the morning. Anyway.
Oh, at Christmas, on December the 15th, I've got you, yeah. Over Christmas.
Yes.
And one weekend a month.
Sundays preceding bank holiday Mondays, they'll go till 3:30 in the morning. And one weekend a month on a Friday and Saturday until 4:30. It's very...
That's what they've got now. They've got permitted opening hours now. And then of those, and then they want to replace them with slightly lesser opening hours.
That doesn't make any sense why you need to ask permission to stay open less. So that's all, thought that must be a mistake.
I think they're trying to say...
I see. Oh, well, what do we think about it? Well, sorry.
I was just going to say, what it
I don't
actually reads
mind.
is non-standard timings and opening times to be removed, followed by the paragraph, to be replaced with
Yeah.
the following non-standard timings, which is those slightly shorter ones.
Yeah, that is what it says.
And then removal of licensed hours for first floor.
So I think the thrust of this is, if they were tied before to, the weekend bit being on a payday weekend, i.e. at the end of the month, whereas what they're trying to do is to get flexibility to have it preceding a bank holiday weekend, which is obviously not always at the end of the month. Bank holidays can be slightly different. So it feels to me like they're not trying to, swing the lead and get something better. They're just trying to make it more appropriate to the fact that, it's not built around paydays, it's built around bank holidays.
Okay.
Be confusing.
Well, we could certainly do with a bit of clarification of this one, couldn't we?
They haven't explained it very well as to why they want to do it, which would have been very helpful. But it does feel to me as though they're not trying to extend things. They're just trying to get something that's more appropriate to the modern age.
Well, we can either ask them to come back and explain, which I don't know what the timing, how that affects, in terms of timing, or I think all we can do is say no comment and leave it to Wiltshire.
Yeah.
Yeah, no comment. All members in favour of no comment?
No comment.
Thank you. Folks, is that all, Penny? I think that's all. Is there anything any member would like to bring up before I bring the meeting to a close? Well done. Thank you very much. Thanks for all coming. And it is, I don't know what time it is. Me? Yes. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, sure. Excuse me. They're on so much for going home and getting First rule, don't forget your glasses.
I was just saying, this is why when my. You have.
No, well, the message has been ready.
Yeah.
But he ain't come back yet.
£5 every time I heard you say that. And this is what I do, I listen all the time.
Make sure it's all right.